Afghanistan as a unit, they have the resources, but it will take a very good execution.
I don't know if they have a good enough support pacer for Fazal Faruqi.
ODI World Cup, it's not easy to win games versus top side, so you'll have to give them time.
Rashid has always seen himself as someone who can come up with a 5 ball, 10 ball, 15 ball cameo.
I think Afghanistan have done well in the shorter formats where you feel that okay, they can slip up.
Right, let's talk about Afghanistan then, because there's lots to talk about them. As usual, we'll start with the news and what's making the ripples flow through their camp. Now, this is, of course, one of the big news that not many Virat Kohli fans would like to see. Maybe they'd like to see, I don't know. Naveen Hulak set to retire from the ODI Cricket World Cup. He's played just 7 one-day internationals, guys, and he's played his last ODI when Jan 2021. More Naveen and the squad in Afghanistan's fixtures right now. I'll start with Nikhil because he's owning up to Afghanistan, and then, of course, I'll get Gurkirat and Akshay to chip in. Afghanistan in ODI World Cups, Nicks, they won only 1 game out of 15. Is that any history to even kind of be inspired by going into a competition like this year?
No, see, of course, we all remember Shahpur Zadran's efforts in the Scotland win in 2015. I think 2019 they were better. They gave a good run to Pakistan, to India, and you felt that okay, they are getting closer. And again, it just tells you that how much ever we may want to take it for granted of people coming to this ODI World Cup, it's not easy to win games versus top side. So you'll have to give them time. A lot of strong nations also took time to get into their group in ODI format. I think Afghanistan have done well in the shorter formats where you feel that okay, they can slip up. But I think the Sri Lanka drawn series, that was a very good insight to have. That okay, they have the people to be able to do the job. But I think it's closing the games out. Against Pakistan also recently, you saw them get into decent positions, but they did not quite close the game out. So this World Cup is where I'm hoping that the 100 all-rounders that they always bring to the table, who somehow invariably find a way to do, be it Karim Jannat, Gulbuddin Naib, you have Omar Zai coming back, which is good to see. So I'm hoping they are also able to step up and help the regular performers, because you think of Afghanistan, you are thinking Rashid Khan, Mujibur Rahman, okay, Fazal Faruqi, okay, Ibrahim Zadran, okay, Rahmat Shah, okay. Now I have still more names to talk about. You have Noor Ahmed coming through. And of course, Naveen, I think, will play a very crucial role, being as their third pacer, something that has been a worry for them. So I think they have potential. I feel they have a few games where I think they can definitely do their job, but we'll talk about those fixtures later. I think Afghanistan as a unit, they have the resources, but it will take a very good execution and some more help from the seniors in Rahmat and Hazmatullah to really just help put in a very good performance to be able to go deep into the tournament.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned the word resources there. And Akshay, I'll ask you, because it's the usual candidates in terms of the IPL pedigree that they bring. But this is, of course, a different kettle of fish. You talk about Nabiz, your Rashid, your Mujib, of course, those partnership at the top is blossoming really well with Zadran and Gurbaz. But how can they kind of kid themselves that in the ODI World Cup, they've been absolutely appalling? 14 out of 15 losses. So can they kind of get any sort of games won this time around?
Some of it will definitely have to do with fixtures, but yeah, I expect them to do well against the likes of, say, Netherlands, and at least put up a proper, more than just a fight against Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and if the venue is right, then even South Africa for that matter. But with Afghanistan, yeah, like Nikhil, Nikhil is already, oh my goodness.
South Africa is in Ahmedabad. So I think that's a very tricky fixture for us.
That's why I said venue. Like if venue is in their favor, then South Africa as well. Yeah.
Speaking of Afghanistan's venue, talk to me about it, Akshay, because look, you kind of just said it right now. They could be a potential banana skins for other teams. Which and why?
Yeah, if you look at who they play, of course, England and Delhi, you would say the venue is the venue scene is at least taken care of. But again, England is just too formidable, limited oversight to be able to do anything about it. Even if you sort of play them on a spin-friendly surface, you would expect England to come out on top. But yeah, playing New Zealand in Chennai, playing even Pakistan in Chennai could actually go in their favor, to be honest. Pakistan, three good pacers, but then not enough spin bowling quality to be able to leverage what's on offer in Chennai. You never know what can happen, especially after seeing what they were almost able to pull off in Sri Lanka during the Asia Cup. You never know. You never know. With their batting, they have enough firepower to be able to come good on their day. So yeah, it's one of those things where you expect them to do well, and you are rooting for them as a neutral. But yeah, we might still be some time away before we see them winning consistently in World Cups.
Okay, Gurkirat, before I come to you, let me just answer Chris's question here. Look, Chris, Gurkirat, Somesh, and I will be doing an absolutely fun Q&A before the World Cup. You can ask us all kinds of nitty-gritties of this. 100%, I'll remember this one and I'll answer it for you. And of course, the Monday Night Live with Nix and Akshay there. But coming to Gurkirat right now, looking at Afghanistan's fixtures and squad. First, I'll just show that squad again. And Gurkirat, Mohammad Nabi, can they win a couple of games for the man? Because Afghanistan, I think, in their history, have played 152 games. Nabi's played 147. Is that a joke?
Yeah, he's been omnipresent when it comes to Afghanistan cricket, and I mean, maybe at times you felt like he was done, and it was time for Afghanistan to move on from him. But he's kept coming back, sometimes with performances in other T20 leagues. So credit to him, for staying relevant. It's something that I say for Ravichandran Ashwin as well. You feel that he's done in a particular format, but he keeps delivering a decent enough performance that whenever you have to go back to a backup, he's the first person that you go to. So credit to Nabi for them. Now, my biggest worry with Afghanistan is something that I had even during the Asia Cup. I don't know if they have a good enough support pacer for Fazal Faruqi. Uh, I saw Rahman bowl in that series versus Pakistan. I wasn't very impressed with Naveen ul Haq. Again, he's only played 7 ODIs, and the good thing for Naveen ul Haq is, and for Afghanistan, is that he's had the experience of playing in Chepauk, in Lucknow, at Delhi. So maybe that could help him, and those pitches are where his cutters could work. But again, would you really say that he's someone who you can rely upon to be a decent enough second pacer? I don't know. I still think they could go with Mujib opening the bowling with Fazal Faruqi, and Fazal Faruqi also had some loss of form in the Asia Cup in that 2 games. So they would really need 3 bowlers in Rashid, Fazal Faruqi, and Mujib to be firing and delivering in each and every game. Because if one of them don't, then it just leaves too much for the other two to carry that bowling attack, which may not always happen.
What about this man who we've seen, Mr. Muscle, even though I don't have many?
Again, he's also someone, he came back. He was not in the scheme of things, came back in that last ODI. So he's also very similar in terms of getting to extract something off the pitch when there is grip on offer. But what if there is not enough grip? Now, yes, we are talking about Afghanistan playing at Delhi, but when they are playing in Delhi, it's relatively the start of the tournament. If pitches are fresh, they may not have as enough grip, so that could also be a factor. And then Delhi has small boundaries, so against England you could try and bowl those slower ones, but if a batter is set, those boundaries at Kotla aren't anything. Ball could actually end up in Connaught Place if someone like Liam Livingston is set and hitting it well. So there's that. Yes, the venues are a factor, but they can't be everything. Chennai is far more suited because it is slower. The square boundaries are bigger, but in Delhi the square boundaries are hardly anything. So it's no guarantee that those slower ones will also work. So that pace attack is something that worries me. And yeah, there's just too much for Fazal Faruqi to do. The other thing is, again, what was something we were talking in the Asia Cup, that 3, 4, 5 also need to get together, stitch partnerships, so that the firepower in the lower order can come to the fore. So you need Rahmat Shah to score runs, you need Asmatullah Shahidi to score runs, and at a decent rate. Because like we had in that graphic, which we have not had the graphic yet. Or did we have
Not
it?
had the graphic yet, boy.
I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. But
Like
as
you
we'll
always
see
do,
that
it's all
graphic,
right. But we will show you that graphic. And Nick's
could be an issue.
we'll ask Nix to, of course, take over, because I'll tell you what, it just makes you think about Gurkirat's weaknesses of Afghanistan, and it features in the SWOT analysis by Nix. Nix, I mean, there are quite a bit of weaknesses there, but there's also relatively good amount of strengths, I would say.
Yep, 100%. Again, you think of Afghanistan, you think of spinners, and rightly up top, best economy, best spinners against teams that are participating in this World Cup. Good economy rates in overs 11 to 40. I think that is something that we will definitely touch upon in the discussion ahead. Uh, the the bit here to extract is if they are able to form a good unit, and that is with the two spin options that are very good attacking as well. And I'll come to the option for the third pacer if Naveen doesn't play. I think Ibrahim Zadran's partnership with Gurbaz is something that is definitely standing right up top in terms of one of their biggest strengths, because we also saw in the Pakistan game they had a great opening stand, and that is something that I hope they continue to do. I'm okay with their weakness of struggling in power play, because I think they are a side that is set up in a way that they want to start slow, which reflects in the lowest run rate that they have. And it's 4.1. I get that, but I think there is room for that to be something else, because that's how shaped they are. They are dependent on those two. So if those two are the ones who are taking too many risks early, they may not end up sometimes with the par score, and they may end up under par. So I think with that weakness, I'm happy to compromise a bit, because you need those two to click together. So I think that is the one weakness which I feel can still be covered. The one I think that is definitely a concern is the third pacer. And yes, as we can see, the third pacer bit is also covering in the fact that unreliable pace attack, third lowest economy of 5.9, and second worst average of 34. Now, here is where I hope Omar Zai comes into the picture and he's able to solve that problem for them, because I think he'll start ahead of Gulbuddin Naib. And then if Fazalak and Mujib start well, I expect Azmatullah to also come into the game much earlier. And then I'm banking on his bowling smarts and also the batting later to be able to, still a very good partnership, because you see Gurbaz Zadran, okay, great starts there. Rahmat Shah Shahidi, lot of experience. Nabi Zadran Omar Zai. This is my engine room, which, as per the situation, I want them to either attack or consolidate, given what the game nature of the game is. And then, of course, you have Rashid, Naveen, and Mujib and Faruqi to just a bowling attack, which is decent options. But the third pacer, Naveen and Omar Zai combined, I think they can help and get the job done for Afghanistan. So I may be papering over a lot of their cracks, but I feel I'm probably rating Omar Zai a bit too highly for starters. But I feel he's someone who can even open the bowling. And if they want to use Naveen as a guy in the middle order, then I think in the middle overs, then I think that's a good prospect to try for them.
Okay, speaking of him, I think Jaydeep adding in terms of a Nabi's batting asset, Afghanistan tries to shield Nabi rushes to the end, but they should really think about using them aggressively. And lots of other boys chipping in about the particular comments of Afghanistan. I'll just go back to that depiction, Akshay. And of course, Nix has shown us his best 11. Apologies for not asking you about your best 11 for New Zealand, but I think I'll bring it up if we're lucky and we have time at the end of the show. And cricket.com, who has just joined us, also going to say Omar Zai is a good shot considering he bowls well in the power play, but Karthik Raj, the Afghan cricket guru, might say that ACB won't allow him to be in the lineup. Now, Gurkirat mentioned support pace. I thought he was going to say support staff, because their support staff also might be a little questionable after not, of course, understanding math in the Asia Cup. Jonathan dropped, what are you doing? But Akshay, Afghanistan, going back to, of course, their strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats. Talk to me about the opportunities here, because 5 games, like you said, rightly in favorable venues. But what about the second point? He is an absolute legend for them no matter what. But will he make them win a few games in this tournament? Rashid Khan.
I mean, the encounter that you referred to, where Jonathan Trott and his support staff didn't really get it right, didn't really get their math right. That game, they came that close thanks to Rashid's blitzkrieg in the last. I mean, of course, before that, a lot of them did do well. But Rashid's improving all-round game can be seen in. I mean, you can just take that's just one instance of how he's done well. And in ODIs, where there'll be a lot more time for him to be able to showcase his skills, that's where I feel it'll become a lot more trickier. Rashid has always seen himself as someone who can come up with a 5-ball, 10-ball, 15-ball cameo. He isn't someone who likes to stay longer, and there's something he's told as well. He loves hitting those sixes, he loves hitting those boundaries, and that's what he always aims to do, irrespective of the situation, irrespective of what's required. So it'll be very interesting to see how Rashid the batter actually fares, and I'm looking forward to seeing that more than anything. Rashid the bowler, of course, he'll always be evergreen. He'll always be someone the Afghan team will go to in the middle overs, especially. Mujib will be manning the new ball, so Rashid in the middle overs will become crucial for them. So yeah.
Yeah, I just want to see
Also-
how they use their batting prowess with Rashid. Sorry, Gurkirat, go on.
Yeah, many times you felt that Afghanistan setup is just too stubborn with how or when they want to introduce Rashid the bowler, and that's true even in T20s. T20s he hardly ever comes on to bowl in the power play, and whenever he does, he gets smacked. So you can still understand that, but even in ODIs, he will usually come into bowl 18th, 19th, 20th, 20th over, not earlier than that. Maybe the idea is to try to use a few overs of his in the last 10, but sometimes when a partnership is building and the game's already slipping away, you really cannot be holding him back uh, for a stage by when the game's already gone. So hopefully Afghanistan are far more flexible with the usage of Rashid the bowler than what they have been in recent times.
Okay, and in recent times, of course, they might have beaten Bangladesh, and Bangladesh, like you guys mentioned over there, but the World Cup competition is a completely different beast. And Nikhil, where will they finish, and who is Afghan's MVP according to you?
Yeah, I'm going to hope that Omarzai plays and he turns out to be their MVP because I feel he's going to play a crucial role with both bat and ball. He's someone. Uh, yeah, I actually had Kulbuddin Naib in place of Omarzai in my first 11 as well, and see that's proof ke satya hai. But the fact is Naib is in reserves, and which is why I had to switch him out for Omarzai, which is good because if Omarzai is playing, then I think he's going to be crucial with both bat and ball. So he's my MVP. In terms of where they finish, I'm hoping for multiple wins. Uh, I'm expecting them to get better of Netherlands at least in Lucknow because I think that is something that should they should be able to do. And with the bat, if they're able to bat with the intent that they did in Asia Cup when they wanted to chase that target, I think they would be better placed to probably take a few more games, maybe surprise Sri Lanka in Pune or slip up New Zealand or Pakistan in Chennai. Now they don't have Naseem Shah to worry about. So I'm sure Fazalak will be very, very happy कि भाई at least Naseem का tension तो मेरे को नहीं है. So hopefully I'm very ambitious. 3 wins. Maybe that could give them the 7th or the 8th spot if they are able to get those 3 wins in.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, just had to kind of exchange Akshay streams over there. My mic's falling off, which I'll repair. But MVP, sorry, Nix, I just missed that. Your MVP, Omarzai. Do you echo those thoughts, Gurkirat? Or do you think it's Zadran, someone with a bat? Proper batter.
Oh, we have a classic.
We have
a
it.
classic.
We have it.
It's a
We have a
classic.
classic. Usual.
Apart from Rashid, you'd have to see. I'd want Najibullah Zadran to have a good tournament because him firing at 5, if he can get those entry points right, if he's coming into bat post the 30th over, uh, or around the 34th, 35th over, he has the game to help Afghanistan finish strong. So yeah, I'd like him to have a good tournament, and if he has a good tournament, he could be the difference between Afghanistan having just 1 win or probably having those 2-3 wins that Nikhil's alluding to. I feel his batting could really help Afghanistan score those 20 runs, maybe what they would eventually score, and that could make a difference for a team like Afghanistan.
Sorry, very very early shot while you are on mute, so it did not interfere there. I think watch out for Najibullah at Delhi. If he gets going, I think he should love the Kotla boundaries, even though it's versus India and England. I hope they take down England. It's fun.
And maybe the Capitals can sign him up if he plays well in Delhi, and Gurkirat can talk about that. But yeah, look, MVP, lots of people saying different things. Faruqi, Fassam, Abbas Kundi saying none other than the president, Nabi, which is a good shot. Akshay, what about you? And do you echo the boys, and pretty much the chat, they're all saying 8th and 9th and all of that? Or do you think Afghanistan can dream in this World Cup?
They definitely can dream. I don't think it pays. I mean, you need to pay anything to dream. But yeah, ninth is where I also see them, ending up at. At best, they could have a win against Netherlands. That was solely because of their superior spin bowling reserves. So, barring Netherlands, I don't know which other team can I confidently say that they'll come out on top. But in terms of my MVP, I do echo both Gurkirat and Nikhil's thoughts in that I really am looking forward to Najib having a spectacular season. Tournament. I've been watching him for a while now. He's just too good. I really, in fact, for the longest time, also felt RCB could also go for him. I know this happens to every second overseas player I see doing well, but yeah, he is. No, he's really someone to
And
look out for with the
he
badminton
plays
ball.
spin well. So he plays spin well. So could be there.
True. That's
They have
true.
long
And
road
he's
for
played
it.
with-
They
And
have
he's
long
played,
road
yeah. And
Okay,
he's
guys,
played
so-
with Andy Flower for St. Lucia Zouk. So who knows? You never know.
Makes sense.
So,
Look,
but yeah,
Afghanistan
so-
is definitely a team which we have to respect no matter what, and that's why we love cricket, because they can, of course, spur a surprise. Even though their only World Cup win apparently is against Scotland, and I might be wrong, but I think I'm right. But we'll leave it there with Afghanistan. Tell us in the comments how much you guys think where they'll finish. My prediction is that they will dream. They'll get to the dizzy heights of 6th, 7th on the table. And who knows? Rashid Khan is my MVP. I know I'm stating the obvious, but I've not gone for the obvious 8th to 9th. I'm being bold with Afghanistan. Gurkirat?
No, nothing. I had something in mind, then I realized it's been discussed.
We've discussed it all, and if you guys are just joining us, of course, like this video and subscribe to the channel, and rewind if you guys want to see our analysis on New Zealand, or just watch it later. We've done with New Zealand, we're done with Afghanistan. 2 down, 2 to go, of course, but as usual, Akshay wants to butt in.
No, nothing. Just wanted to point out. Trust Avnish to, put something like 6th and 7th. I mean, sort of talk it up so much. Dizzying heights of 6th and 6th or 7th.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
Wanted to bring
you
that
gotta
up.
dream, you
Excellent
gotta
wordplay.
When you say play bold, it's
Very,
It's okay.
very.
It's understood.